Hi everyone, this is Dr. E and I'll be your instructor for this summer session. This is going to be a general video for all students who are taking summer courses with me. So some of you will be in English 1301, right, which is Freshman Composition 1, and some of you are in English 2327, which is the first section of American Literature, so early American Lit. For most of the summer session, I'll have separate videos for your classes, obviously, because you're doing different work, but to walk through D2L and just give you some general information about that, I'm just doing a combined video, okay? But I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the summer session. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the English 1301 course area as the example. So those of you in English 2327, you'll see some things that are a little bit different, but generally, you know, it's all pretty similar. So if I pull up D2L here, you know, this is the main course area. I'm going to start in the content area because this is where we'll spend a lot of our time this summer session. So I want you to note that on the left-hand side, there are different resources, right? So the first is book information. So if you click there, it has links and everything about the English 1301 book. So those of you in 2327, you'll have some different information there. But then there's also a section for the syllabus and the course readings, if there are any course readings outside of the text, rubrics, assignments. You know, some of this stuff hasn't been updated yet because it's the start of the summer session, so don't worry. But there's also MLA help, right? And also D2L help, because y'all, I'm not gonna lie, D2L is kind of clunky, and if you are new to D2L, it can be pretty overwhelming. I would assume that a lot of you have some experience with online courses at this point, given the past year. But if you're coming from different schools, you may have used something like Blackboard or Canvas. We use D2L in the Lone Star College system, and some of it is pretty clunky, okay? So just know that there will be points when it's a little bit frustrating, but we're gonna get through this together, and every week I'll have instructions in a video to kind of walk you through all of that. But if you need additional help, here are some resources, okay? So it just shows you, you know, there's an OTS area where you can go, Office of Technology Services. So if you click on this link, it will take you to the OTS page. Okay, and this is student resources. So if you need to reset your password, if you have issues with email, you can also get software. So if you don't have an actual version of Microsoft Word that's downloaded to your computer, so if you don't have the full version, or PowerPoint or any of those things, you can get a free version through school as a student. So I really recommend this. I know that there are plenty of options available, you know, for Google Docs and OneDrive and all of that, but to have an actual version downloaded to your computer or device is really helpful because it's just the full entire, you know, all the options are there, whereas the online versions are a little bit limited, okay? So I'll get off my soapbox now, but it's free. Why not? Why not, right? But this is where you can find all help associated with, you know, anything that you need when it comes to technology and being a student, okay? So I'm going to go back to D2L help because, again, if you need to set up notifications, if you want to view feedback, this is going to be a pretty big one in our class, how to view your feedback and turn it in, all of that is located here. There's also a section on life help because, you know, stuff is hard. You know, this past year has been pretty difficult. If you need any help outside of just generally what you're getting in the class, this is where you can go to find some information, okay? So, you know, writing assistance and tutoring. There's the Student Success Institute, which is a really great program where you are paired with a mentor and they will just kind of help you right through the process of being a college student, because that can definitely be overwhelming. This is a link for Care for Completion. So if you need assistance with clothing or with food, you know, there are just all these different kinds of links that can help you out depending on what your needs are. I always say you can always contact me and I can help you with resources and where to find them, but if you need them quick and at a glance, everything is right here in D2L for you, okay? So if we go back, all this, Communities in Schools is a really wonderful organization that works on all our campuses, and they are licensed and professional counselors, so they can help you with life issues, right? Remember that counseling and advising are two different things. So advising is more of the academic side. So if you need help with your degree plan or classes you're taking, that's what our advisors do, but the counselors are there for all the other stuff that can be kind of overwhelming and can definitely affect, how you're getting through your semester. And also they have connections to resources as well. All the counselors through Communities in Schools can talk to you about housing needs or access to food, to clothing, any of those kinds of things. They're really great and they can help. Okay, so, and then there's always going to be a list of all the things we're going to do in a week. So week 1 is here. I have copied and pasted a section from the syllabus, which is our schedule. And then everything below that in week 1 are the things that you'll need to do in week 1, right? So in week 1, we have a discussion post that's due, we have other assignments. So every week I'll go through and kind of update that, and I'll also have those videos that'll help you. But that content area generally is going to be where we spend a lot of our time, okay? So if we go back up, there are other places, of course, your grades, course activities. This is where you'll submit assignments. I'm going to click here, but we don't have anything posted yet. But if you ever need to upload a document, say your paper portfolio down the line or your reading responses, you're going to upload those as documents, right? As files. That's why having a full version of Microsoft Word is not a bad thing, okay? We also have the collaboration area, discussions. Discussions is where we'll spend a lot of time. So there is a Q&A discussion board area. You just click on the little blue hyperlink. And if you have any general questions about the class, you can anonymously ask them here, okay? You can always email me, but my suggestion is always to bring it to the full class, because if you have this question, chances are other folks are going to have the same kind of question. So you can post anonymously here, or you can choose to put your name, that's fine. And I'll work to answer them, but also as students, if you know the answer and you feel comfortable, go ahead and answer those questions if I haven't been able to get to that yet. So I want that to be a kind of conversational space, okay? And then if we go to the discussion lists, again, this will be where our weekly discussions are. The first week is already up and ready to go. You also will have in course activities quizzes, okay? So every week, generally, we're going to have a quiz. And that is going to ask you to recall things from the readings, recall things from all the videos for every week. There will be little pieces of information in each video. And while I'm talking about that, why don't I start off with a random word that you'll want to remember for the quiz. So you may want to get a pen and paper and write this down. The random word for this video, for the walkthrough of D2L, is going to be lamp. Yeah, lamp. Why not? So something to remember, okay? So the quiz area is going to be something you visit every week as well, okay? And then support, that's if you need any assistance with D2L. I'm going to go up to the top just a little bit, right? Here is where if you ever need to send emails, which you will have to do in our class, if you click on the envelope and from the drop-down menu, just select email, it will pull up, of course, email. If I click on the compose button, I'm going to pull this over so you can see the whole thing. So you have your inbox, sent mail, all of that. I'm going to click the compose button. A pop-up window will appear. And this looks pretty familiar if you use email at all, right? So up here, you can either type in the person's name if you know it. So I definitely suggest that you learn the people's names that you're trying to reach, because if you have to use the address book, it's just a lot. So if I click on the address book, and this is all the students I've ever had, all, page 1 of 21, that's a lot to search through, right? You can definitely limit the search if you go to the address book and choose your specific class. You won't have this kind of list. This is from, again, all the semesters. So if you find our class from the list, then it will limit all the options to just those people in our class. But a lot of the time you're going to be sending an email to me. So I am going to, stress this in a lot of videos this week and information. Send me emails through D2L. Okay, It will ensure that the email comes directly to me. We have a really kind of fussy firewall, so if you send emails from your personal email address, it can take days, if not longer, to get to me. And that is if I look at it and think, oh, this must be from a student, because there's a lot of junk mail that I have to kind of weed through. So the best option is just to use the D2L email to send me like your weekly email assignment that's due today. You won't have one every week, I misspoke there, but you have an email assignment for this week, so this is how you'll find me, okay? You can, of course, find me through, choosing your course, but what you can also do is just at the top, start typing my name, either my first name or my last name. So I'm going to start with my last name, which is Raft. I go by Dr. E because my last name is a little bit misleading and confusing because of that N in there. But you'll see from the drop down that it will have something that can auto-populate or auto-fill in. So I'm just going to click on that. So okay, it's going to send this to me. What I do like about D2L is that when you're in the actual course, it will auto-populate your subject line. So just as kind of something to consider for your college career and beyond, if you use email for work, use a subject line. Don't put something random. So it auto-populates in D2L. So use that. But I also want to stress that you need to be in the actual course. So if you're taking multiple courses, don't try to send me an email from your biology class because it'll auto-populate your biology class information. And I may not read it because I'll see the subject and go, well, that's obviously a mistake. Okay, so it'll auto-populate depending on the class you're in, and then just send that email and click send, right? So type the email here, click send. I also want you to note that there are options for notifications, okay? So from the area where your name appears, I'm going to click notifications. And this is where you can find information on the Pulse app. I have the Pulse app downloaded on my phone just so that I can kind of quickly check in if I need to. I spend most of my time actually using my computer, but depending on if you're using a tablet, you'll want the Pulse app if that's how you're doing your work. Or again, if you just want quick notifications, like if I change something, I'll post it in the announcements area and you can choose that to be notified. You can get a text message, right? So it's worth kind of playing around. If you want to have those specific notifications, you can register your mobile phone, right? You just have to go through this process and it will send you that confirmation text message, right? Once you have registered your phone, you can then select these from the list. They're not populated right now because you need to register. I definitely don't want you to choose all of these because then your phone will be blowing up with text messages. So for our class, I definitely think the announcements is going to be something you'll want to choose. And then from there, you can, so announcements are right here. You can choose some of these other things like content, but I really recommend that you don't choose everything. Make sure you also click save here. Okay, so that's email notifications and just kind of generally where to go and what to do in our class. So to get back to that main area, you just click on, the title of your class. And I just want you to spend some time this week. Yes, we have assignments. We are hitting the ground running. Summer course is very fast. We have a lot to we have to shrink a whole semester into, just over 5 weeks. So that's a lot. But I want you to spend some time kind of clicking around and seeing what's available and what's here in your course for D2L so that you just feel comfortable every time you log in. You'll get a little bit more comfortable, right? So that you don't feel panicked if you've never had experience with D2L, but also if you have already taken courses in D2L. Other instructors have set their work up in a different way, I'm sure. So I want you to get used to how things are structured in this course, okay, and how I kind of set things up. If you have any questions just generally about D2L, you can always reach out to me, or you can go to the Q&A area in the discussion post area of D2L. All right, I'm looking forward to a great semester, so don't forget the secret word or information that may be included in all the videos, and watch all the other videos for this week. All right, see you later.